I understand how important it is for your child to be completely nutrition. So we are forming a team, and that is how we are taking this forward. And we are very sure that in a very little span of time, we will be able to identify such children all across the country who have been working in different states, and we will be able to identify these left out children aged between 0 and 6 and provide them with all that it takes. Now I'm open to your questions.
You're mentioning about malnourishment and people who are malnourished, 9% underweight children. So what exactly is the plan of action by the state, by the initiative that you are part of the steering committee?
Okay. We are going to register these children at different levels, and we are going to speak to the parents. We are going to run camps throughout the state in different parts of the country, or every state, like we have a steering committee where we have been given responsibility of different states, and Kerala comes under my responsibility. I'm responsible for Kerala state. Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep. These are the 5 states which come under my governance, and this is where I'm going to take it forward. I'm going state-wise, meeting people, and we are going to work, and we need complete help of the state government also. It is not about, when I say this has nothing to do as a party worker, this has completely do as the union government, the central government. We need the help of the state government also, so that we can address the people. We can address 52% of women, especially pregnant women. 52% of pregnant women in our country are anemic, which leads to malnutrition children when they are born. And that's why we say between 0 and 6, because between 0 and 6 is when the child needs the maximum nutrition. So we start with these children first. We identify them, we provide them. The government of India is going to provide them with all these supplements and the kind of food they need to keep them nutrition. And we will not be able to do this without the help of the state government, without the help of the health secretary, without the help of the urban commissioner, labor commissioner and everyone. So we need to have a joint effort. And at this point, I would like to very humbly request the state government, our Honorable CM Pinarayi Vijayan sir, to please help us not look into this as a political mileage program, but as something which can help the state also and take the country forward and the state, because in Kerala you have the maximum number of literacy. Highest rate of literacy is Kerala. So we need to make them understand that though we have 100% of literacy, why do we still have 9% of underweight and 5.6% of undernourished children? We have a people who will be working. We have health volunteers. We have people from different spaces of life. But I will not be able to camp here completely because there are 5 states which come under my responsibility. So I'll be touring in different states. Like tonight I go to Bangalore. Tomorrow I have a meeting with the committee on in Bangalore in Karnataka. So I'm going state-wise. I'm going to different places. Of course, now there are certain areas which you don't have to go in person because of the connectivity problem. So thanks to the technology, we are able to connect on internet, we are able to connect on Zoom or WebEx. So we are conducting meetings non-stop. Every day we are conducting meetings. But yes, wherever there is a possibility of physical presence, I will be there. Tribal area. Everything. We have a team which is also going to work with the tribal areas. When we say 0 to 6 children, we are not looking at children from different stratas. We say we are addressing children from 0 to 6, and that means irrespective of their social strata, irrespective of which category they belong to. So our tribal people are definitely part of this strategy, and they will be included into this.
Could you tell us something about the fund resources and mobilization of this particular scheme that you're talking about? Is it like 100% centrally funded scheme, or is it like as you said, there's a cooperative federalism, there is something that the state also needs to do? And at what level? Is it on the district level or the taluk level? At what level is these particular work that is going to be started?
See, we're starting at the state level first, and then, of course, we will not be able to work if we are not getting people involved from the district and the mandal levels. So it goes to every level because you need to identify. If I say that I'm going to sit in Trivandrum and ask my team to identify the children, like you said, in the tribal areas or the interior parts of Kerala, it won't be possible. So we need people in different spheres of life and different areas where they will specifically work in those portions. As far as it will be completely state funded or centrally funded, that I would leave to my the main committee chairperson, Mr. Dr. Anil Jain. He will be calling the press very soon, and he'll be addressing to it. I will not get involved in that. My duty is to make sure that the meeting happens. We run this campaign and we take it as much as forward, bring in a lot of awareness among the people. What happens is, the minute you talk about conducting these kind of camps, people from probably higher society strata, they might feel that why would I take my child to a camp? I'd rather take my child to a pediatrician or to a nutritionist. And every mother would like to believe that my child is the healthiest one, even if the child is a little overweight. I have been that kind of a mother, but trust me, even an overweight child means that the child can be malnutritioned. So we need to identify those kind of children. And we take this message forward that there is a camp, like we run about breast cancer awareness. We run about, like for mothers, breastfeeding mothers, how important it is for the lactating mothers to take care of their health during this. Whether it is about the protein diet or whether it is about the kind of medicines which has been prescribed by the gynecologist or the doctors. And also when we talk about any kind of awareness, like during even COVID, we were talking about awareness, how important it is. There was a drive. So this is a movement, and this movement is people's movement, where we involved every person, including your good self, to spread a message that my child should be nutritioned, my child should be healthy. Tomorrow I don't want any kind of a problem with my child. So it's not about, though the government of India is taking it forward, it does not mean the responsibility ends with government of India or the state government is going to be involved. So the responsibility ends with the state government. I think when we are spreading out a message for the people, a scheme which is for the people of this country, for the children of this country, it becomes every citizen's responsibility to spread this message and create awareness. Anything else?
Regarding the political murders, now we have seen that the BJP has been asking for a central agency to investigate this matter. Recently there was a petition given to the governor as well. How do you see this? Can BJP limit itself to only that role, or do you see that there could be more done by the party in the state to address this?
See, a murder is a murder, irrespective which party the person belongs to. We have lost a human life. It would be very unfair to say that Ranjit belonged to BJP, or prior to that somebody else belonged to a different political party. Every family, when a man is murdered, every family, irrespective of political party, let's be a little sensitive towards it, a family member loses their loved ones. So we need to put a full stop to this. When I say I urge the CM to look into these murders, it's not for Ranjit alone. I think we need to put a full stop. We have seen almost 22 murders in the last 5 years, and all of them were politically motivated. So we need to put a full stop to this. An eye for an eye is not a solution to a political problem. Every political party has their own time. Every political party, they are decided by the people, the voting people. They are chosen by the people. So why have this kind of an enmity and create these kind of messes around? We don't need to do it. Politics can be clean, politics can be about nation, politics can be about serving the people and what all you can do for the people. I mean, the kind of problems Kerala has been facing, there is about Silver Line problem, what we are talking about, the problem about the high-speed and semi-speed railway. So, I mean, the government is already under so much of debt, and where are they going to invest so much? How are you going to invest? And you have a timeline when it comes about Silver Line, you say by 2025. You have not even acquired the lands. If you are in 2022, another 3 days. You have not even acquired the lands. 1 year delay is going to cost you 3,500 crores more, and that is not the government money. 64,000 crores on the project, that is exchequer's money. What is the planning which is going to go into it? You're looking at a footfall, a ride fall of 79,000 people a day in 2025. Those are all, building a castle in the air. You do not know until unless actually it comes out. And even the experts say that this is a bizarre calculation where though no mind has been applied into looking into these calculations. So we need to understand, where are we heading? What are we doing? Yes, the opposition might say that, oh, you have a corridor coming up, you have something coming up in Goa, Kasaragod, you have something coming up in UP. Yes, but there has been a complete mind which has been applied into it, and how it's going to, the lands have been acquired, the work has started. But here, every delay in every project is going to cost a man paying out of his, every human, whether you buy one glass of tea, or you buy a bottle of water, or you buy even a kilo of tomatoes or potatoes. It's going to go from the exchequer's pocket. So a common man is going to bear the burden. But is it going into the right direction? You're talking about 2057 is what we are talking about. Let's see where we go 5 years later. 2025 is just 3 years, and we have done nothing as yet. So 2057 is like you're looking at next to next generation. 35 years down the lane. Where are we heading?
So you're basically saying Silver Line project is definitely not possible in Kerala. It's not good.
No, they already have. The union government has already brought in a high-speed railway line. So why not, just because you have an ego where you say, I'm not going to work with the union government, but I'm going to form something on my Silver Line myself. So, both state and the central government need to coexist, need to work together. Any which ways, it's exchequer's money. No government is going to pay from the pocket. But how we can lessen the burden of the people is what is important. Is the Kerala government ready to spend 64,000 crores from its own pocket, despite of having so much of loan and the debts in the government? Are they ready to spend so much? And every year delay is going to cost you another 3,500 crores, which is not a small amount. Who is going to bear the cost? So you need to think into it. You need to go into it and look into it, that how are you going to do it. That is what is important. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, and sorry once again to keep you all waiting.